Cavs are back on the hard court tonight. Game 3 of the preseason and the final preseason home game on the schedule as they welcome a team from the Israeli National League, Maccabi Ra'anana, coming to Cleveland. And we're here to tell you a little bit about what to expect from the Cavs tonight. Brendan Gulick and Spencer Davies with you. All right, Spin, we had a chance to hear from a couple of players and the coaches over the last couple of days. Obviously, the Cavs haven't won a preseason game yet, but have certainly been very competitive and shown nice closing stretches in both of those games. First and foremost, before we talk about the Cavs themselves, for folks that have never heard of this team from Israel, what can you tell us a little bit about them?
Well, this is a team that's begun to come overseas and really try to ramp up to their own season by playing these NBA squads. It started last year. They played 3 teams in the preseason. And then now in 2023, they're doing the same thing with a lot of guys that have played in the NBA before. Dwayne Bacon's a good example. We'll see Mamadi Diakite come off the bench. Sindarius Thornwell, Bruno Caboclo, who used to be a first round pick for the Raptors. Quinndary Weatherspoon spent time with the San Antonio Spurs and the Golden State Warriors. So they're no stranger to this type of competition. So I think that it'll be fun, and it's a good little way to get them ready for their own season. And the Cavs, they're just continuing to try and sharpen their skills, playing against different competition, trying to still get acclimated to that quick offense that we know they're trying to get into with all the movement, all the cutting, and defensively really trying to shore up, not getting beat on the perimeter a little bit the way that they did kind of against the Magic. So it's really just, again, exhibition. You're just trying to, 1, sharpen your skills, and then 2, stay healthy. That's the biggest part of all this.
Is there anything, I mean, obviously you kind of know what you're going to get from this team, or at least you sure think you do offensively, because you know what the capability is. Is there anything that you've seen these first 2 games that's just flat out concerning? Something that you're like, oh boy, this doesn't look the way I thought or hoped it would?
Not necessarily. I think we knew there would be a bit of a defensive drop off, but at the same time, I think it's hard to tell because Jarrett Allen hasn't been a part of these games, and Evan Mobley's done a good job of being the 5, but it's more or less about the guys trying to really shore up the perimeter and make sure they don't get beat, right? And that's going to be probably the shortcoming that starts. Another thing that I wouldn't say is concerning, but it's going to take time, is to get these guys like Max Strus and George Niang and Ty Jerome, all of these guys acclimated to what the Cavs want to do. And also teaching the other guys who are so used to heavy pick and roll and a lot of isolation to get used to moving the ball and playing fast and really trying to score the basketball. So those are 2 things, but I wouldn't call them like overtly concerning, to be honest, just because we're so early into this. We're in mid-October. The season starts in about 9 days. So we'll see how it works coming out of the preseason, but still able to work out some kinks.
I mean, I feel like everybody has their own level of, when things need to be right and when you can still consider this like ramping up. You get the preseason games and ultimately they're exhibitions. They literally don't matter. But you're competing, you're trying to get better, you're trying to win. Do you have some sort of like internal mechanism for you as to, once the season is here and games start counting, how long you're willing to wait before things like really look the way that you expect them to look?
I think it could take at least a couple weeks. 10 games. I don't know if that's a fair benchmark or not. What I think is going to be a big key is the guy's conditioning. And we saw that JB, he played, 3 of his starters quite a few minutes. We didn't expect to see Donovan Mitchell out there for 28 against the Magic, and yet he started the second half and played a ton of time. You saw a couple of other guys really get some heavy legs, and it's tough. It's tough when you're coming off of an off season and game speed. There's nothing like it, right? You can train for it all you want to in practice or in your own off sessions, whatever you want to call it. But until you're on a floor, you don't know what it's like to play in the game, no matter how many times you've done it, because you got to get your body back used to it. So, and then that's what I would also, pay attention to with Jarrett Allen too, because Jarrett Allen's going to have the conditioning piece to get ready for as well. So, I think it's just more about staying in shape, or getting in shape, I should say, and making sure that is the consistent part of the team.
Well, the Cavs have 2 more preseason games to try to get themselves, I guess, in the right spot so that when it's time to hit the ground running against Brooklyn on the 25th, which, as you pointed out, is just 9 days away, that they'll be in the best position to do so. Looking forward to following this team again tonight. Third of the 4 preseason games. It's at 7 o'clock. Of course, people can watch it live on television on Bally Sports. And for all the latest news and information around the team, certainly for some post-game reaction, make sure you check out CavsInsider.com. For Spencer Davies, I'm Brendan Gulick. We'll see you over on Cavs Insider real soon.